What dynamics are at interplay that we need to focus on?
So there are three important things that are affecting the oil and gas market at the moment. One has been going on for quite a while, Venezuela and the challenges around Venezuela. So it's not been able to produce as much as it used to before. But that's been going on for a while. Iran is the second one. And Iran, I mean, we've kind of been aware of the challenges that Iran was going to face. But the seal that is going to disrupt its ability to sell its production into the market, well, that was sealed a few weeks ago. Therefore, there is a shortage in the market from there. And recently, I think only just yesterday or sometime this week, we've seen that Saudi Arabia has suffered some challenges in terms of its tankers were attacked and its pipelines as well. They haven't led to a production loss yet, but it is certainly something that is affecting confidence in the market. And so those three big things are things that are impacting price at the moment.
So three big things, 4 countries. I was literally drawing a map when you were talking. Okay. So I see Venezuela, I see Iran, I see China, then Saudi is a separate case on its own. But for Venezuela, Iran, and China, I have drawn a map and I have tied it to the US.
Yes.
Is it a case of who will bail the cat now?
So that's an interesting point, because yes, the US is kind of sitting at the center of all of these things. And we remember when the oil prices fell very significantly as well a few years ago. It was caused really by some of the developments that happened in the US as well. So the US is the center of the world, and it is affecting the oil and gas prices. Now, who's going to bail the cat?
Yes, to what extent, for example, can OPEC minimize or influence the US's interplay within the global dynamics that we are seeing?
I think that, I mean, OPEC, they've been announcing the death of OPEC for some time now, but clearly OPEC
announcing, predicting, projecting.
Announcing, predicting, even actually writing its burial notes.
There's an epitaph already.
But clearly, OPEC is not dead. OPEC still, and essentially with the influence of the other players, Russia in particular, has a lot of influence in the market. The question is, has the oil and gas, the oil prices heated up to the level where OPEC needs to come in and intervene by cutting additional production? I don't know if it has heated up to that level, but certainly I wouldn't be expecting them to be increasing, to be reducing supply into the market, I think. As
of this morning, we saw Brent crude futures at $71.04 per barrel.
Yeah.
So to what extent do you think that this global interplay that we will be seeing, I think till the end of the year actually,
yes, be
able to keep prices at that level?
So there's a question of, should they keep prices at that level? Do we want them to keep prices at that level? Well, I suspect, I mean, the Iran situation is not going to change anytime soon. Neither is the Venezuela situation. I think OPEC has sent Saudi Arabia has sent a message to the market that it is still strong, that all those attacks that have happened to it, those attacks have not caused any loss in production at all. I think if the market continues to, if the events continue to support that, and Saudi Arabia continues to stay where it is, we think that it's not going to, the oil prices will not go up, I think, significantly.
Considering that Saudi is a major player.
Yes.
Now, there are conspiracy theories regarding the accidents, quote unquote, that yes, Saudi has been saying. Which side of the divide are you on? Is this nature, market forces at play, or are you also on the divide of the conspiracy theories? Regarding curtailing or controlling the influence that Saudi obviously weaves?
There are two levels here. The first is that there have been incidents, and they've been called terrorist incidents with drones and bombs attacking Saudi pipelines, and there have also been incidents around the tankers. So there's clearly something going on there. But Saudi Arabia has a lot of spare capacity. It's actually holding itself back from producing or pumping as much into the market. It definitely is able to raise production when it chooses to do so. So I do not worry about Saudi's role as a market maker in the near future.
Now, come June, a few weeks away from now,
yes,
we'll see OPEC meeting slated since January. Now, top on the agenda at that meeting will be whether or not to renew agreement by the 31 countries. And for the OPEC Plus, top on their agenda would be whether or not to, they agreed in January to keep production output at 1.2 million per barrels.
Yeah. Top
on their agenda would be to move that limit or not to move. Where do you envisage this will go?
Well, I mean, I think that the cooperation between OPEC and Russia and the other non-OPEC members has been beneficial. I think that they will continue that cooperation. I suspect that there isn't, if nothing dramatic happens between now and June, but dramatic things happen all the time.
It's oil.
In the oil and gas space.
There's the US.
But if nothing dramatic happens, I suspect that they will maintain at the level that it is.
And let's bring it home now for Nigeria. What are the gains from the global trade dynamics that we are seeing?
So you could say, so you ask a question, what are the gains? I could say, what are the potential losses, actually? Because even though oil price rise favors us, you have to think about the impact that oil price rise has on the subsidies that we are paying as a government. The government is paying. So as oil prices increase, the volume of subsidies or the money being paid towards subsidies also increases significantly. And so a lot of the advantages that we get from oil price increases is lost on the subsidy front. So it is not necessarily a thing of joy to see oil price increase dramatically. Don't
let the National Assembly hear you say that. But there are still positive from predictions for the budget benchmark at $60 per barrel and oil still hovering at $71 per barrel as of this morning.
Yes, but it's my job to sound a note of caution and say, look, we still
that again is not always a gain.
We still have a lot of things to deal with, and that fuel subsidy is a big issue that has plagued us for a while, and it's getting worse by the day.